Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Amanda Lockhart Davis, host of Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood one episode at a time. And we are here with a great episode today. We've got family back, Mr. Rasheed Hamid. He is here with us today. We're going to do some follow up on our last conversation with him, see how everything's going, his recovery, not only with his health, but with business. So I want you guys to strap in. Get your coffee, your wine, your tea, your cocoa, whatever is your comfort drink. Get somewhere cozy because we're about to get into it. I'm going to be introducing my friend, Mr. Rasheed Hamid. He is the founder and CEO of Extra Hands Virtual Assistants, a company that helps entrepreneurs and organizations, I'm trying to get it together, y'all, reclaim their time through high-level executive supports, systems, and strategic operations. A former luxury hospitality professional who has traveled to over 40 countries, he brings a concierge mindset to business, blending exceptional service with modern technology and AI. Rasheed is passionate about helping leaders work smarter, build sustainable businesses, and create lifestyles they don't need a vacation from. Whether he's speaking on entrepreneurship, productivity, or future of work, his message is simple. Your time is your most valuable asset. Please welcome to the virtual stage, my friend, my brother, Mr. Rasheed Hamid.
Hey, am I at the right address? Is this where you live? This I got lost. I got lost trying to get to your house.
You got lost. That's okay. You made it just
Yeah.
fine. We all good. We all good. How have you been?
I'm good, Fred. It's good to see you. It's good to be back here on this platform. How are you?
I'm glowing. I'm feeling
Yeah,
great. I
I
like to
love
tell
it.
people all the time, any day that I wake up is a good day.
That's right. And happy Black History Month. Congratulations.
Happy Black History, everything.
Yeah.
Everything all the time.
uh, we're gonna have fun today. We got a lot to talk about.
Absolutely were, as per usual. I want to just go ahead and just jump right in.
Oh,
Tell everyone, because I don't want to screw up the pronunciation, trigeminal neuralgia?
you got it. Trigeminal neuralgia. We can also refer to it, now that we've said it out loud, trigeminal neuralgia. We can refer to it as TN for this one.
TS. TS
TN.
little four.
TN.
TN. Okay, got it. So last time you were with us, we talked about your journey through that, the
Yeah.
pain, the operations, the recovery process, and all of that. How are you doing today? When we last talked, it was December. It's now July. So how are you doing today?
Um, I'm fully healed. I mean, as healed as one can be for a condition that has no full cure.
Okay.
I'm healed from the last surgery, which was September,
Okay. Okay.
which left me in a lot of pain, but and on a lot of medication. But I've since downed the medication, and the hurt and the suffering that I was going through as a result of healing from the surgery has now passed. I'll say that.
Wow. Okay. So we talking triumph here. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, yeah, China, for sure. I mean, look, we're here to talk about recovery, and the truth of the matter is pain is just a part of the story, right? It's not the lesson. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
lesson. And the recovery of the pain isn't the whole lesson for me. Um, because when I think about the diagnosis, it's such a rare disorder. The medical diagnosis wasn't the transformation,
Okay. Okay.
right? The surgery might have changed my health, but recovery is what changed my leadership. Um, and that took some time.
Well, then let me ask you, having not, let's say, in an alternate universe, had you not gone through that, do you think you would be where you are today in terms of being a leader, a business owner,
No.
just in general?
Quick answer, no. Um, there's something forced that happens, right? Like
Mm.
there's something that happens to you against your will, against your power when it comes to pain, when it comes to medication and things like that. And look, I want to make sure that people know that while we are talking about a very specific disorder, any entrepreneur, any business person could sub out my disorder for grief, for divorce, for bankruptcy, right? This is a conversation about healing and recovery, and it's across the board. This isn't,
Absolutely.
I don't want to make it just about my recovery, about this one random thing. I mean, only 0.03% of the world have this thing. And I would love our conversation to be more inclusive of people who are going through anything so that recovery can be applied. Does that make sense?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's how I feel. So yeah, I'm feeling better. But it was a journey. And recovery as a human being is one thing. Recovery as an entrepreneur, these are not the same things. And again, we could be talking about burnout. We could be talking about divorce. We could be talking about other illness or loss. And the same would be true, as you recover from those things internally. The question is, how are you recovering from it within your ecosystem? How are you recovering
Yeah.
from it within your business? And I think
Yeah.
that's a story to be told.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you as an entrepreneur going through whatever the thing is, right? That monkey on the back is. How
Mhm.
do you balance recovering while still trying to lead your company and still trying to live a life,
Mhm.
that very frankly, when you have a company, the chances are you have other people who depend on your company being successful so that they can eat, right? So how do you
Yeah.
balance that during your recovery period?
I knew it wasn't going to take long before entrepreneurship entered the conversation. So here
I
we
mean, let's
are.
jump right in.
um, I can only answer that specifically for myself, for my business, for my experience.
Mm.
As someone who runs a company that promotes productivity, um, who promotes systems and automations and ways to keep the ball moving without you always having to be the one pushing it uphill. I think the answer to that for me is you have to allow yourself to back up. Because if you build the thing the right way, then a 3-hour doctor appointment or a unexpected lapse of being able to work. Maybe you can't talk that day. Maybe you just need to unplug for that day. If those kinds of emergencies shut your business down, then you have a job. You don't have a business.
Mm.
Because I spent
Repeat
so
that
much.
for us. Repeat that for the people in the back.
I'm just saying, like if 3 hours out of the day, like you have to go to the doctor's office, you think it's going to be an in and out situation, you end up losing 3 hours of your day. You end up spending, half a day on a flight that you didn't expect. You end up untalkable that day or unmanageable. You can't get out of bed. If those things
Mm.
are capable of shutting down your business for the day, for the week, whatever, unfortunately, you're not running business. You own a job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't preach this stuff about what I do and how it works for other people if I'm not using it. And to be honest, Amanda, I
Yes.
wasn't. I wasn't using it. I wasn't using it until I had to use it. A lot of things were in play. There were a lot of foundational pieces in play when it came to my recovery that I wasn't even conscious of. Having the right people strategically, having a person like Katie, my COO, everybody knows I praise Katie's presence and the work that she does. But having her in a role of support that not only supports me, but supports the company. Having chosen, we've gone through so much technology, so many CRMs, so many project management tools, so much AI. We're always trying to upgrade. Katie and I are forever learners. So we're always testing something new and trying to figure these things out. If we weren't in that process, if we weren't in that practice, and we were doing things manually, and we were doing things in a way that wasn't promoting productivity, then recovery would still be happening within the business. I would still be
Mm.
recovering in the
Mhm.
business.
Mhm.
So because I have systems in place, because I have automations, because I have calendar and alerts and notifications and things that happen without me having to be present, things that happen without my physical need to be there, because those things exist, I can miss 3 hours. I can
Mhm.
take the day off
Mhm.
comfortably.
Mhm.
Um, I can pass things on to a COO, to a partner, and the company still runs
Yeah.
because we're not running mom and pop business. We may have been. We're not running mom and pop business anymore. Uh, it feels good to know that those things that we have set in place have aided in my physical recovery.
Mm. I'm glad you said that. I want to pause on that for a second because, like you said, yeah, at this point, you're not running a mom and pop business right anymore. But even those out there that are, they haven't quite uh, climbed, finished climbing over that mountain of coming out of that stage of their business. It still makes a difference what happens if they have to take a sick day, if there's an emergency with their kid at school or whatever,
For sure.
whatever the thing is that their business keeps running. And with that being the
Hmm.
case, like you said, I think you saying it just hit the nail on the head. If everything stops because you stop, then that's not a business, that's a job.
It's a
And
job.
it's no longer a passion, it is a reach and a stretch. And that's where a lot of burnout comes when you're overreaching, overstretching, etc., etc. And so listening to you talk this now, I couldn't help but to think, how, at what point during your recovery process did it hit you like a ton of bricks? Like, I got other people's livelihoods depending on me recovering, depending on me keeping the business rolling. At what point in your recovery did it hit you like a ton of bricks that made you say, okay, we got to figure some crap out?
Yeah. Um, it was early on.
Okay.
It was early on that I was holding other people's lives in the balance, personally, and as the entity that I had created. One thing about recovery is that it requires permission.
Mm,
Recovery requires permission for you to announce that you are weak, to announce that you need help, to announce that you can't do it by yourself. And you're going to hear this name probably more than once in this podcast interview today. I have a homegirl. You met her last time I was in the US. You met Jamila.
shout out to Jamila.
Shout out to Jamie, my boo. When searching for that permission, because you have to give that permission to yourself. Nobody else can give it to you, right? So
Yeah.
you got to have people as important as Katie on the business side as people like yourself and Jamila on the outside, in that personal world of yours. Jamila threatened my life. She was like, you have too many people who care about you for you to be suffering in silence. And if
Mm,
you don't ask for help, I'm going through your Facebook, I'm going through your Instagram, I'm going to reach out to everybody. I'm going to tell them you're in pain. I'm going to start a GoFundMe. She was like, you need help. And as much as you help other people, to know that you are 3,000 miles away in another country and you're in pain and you're suffering by yourself, she's like, this is ridiculous. So either
mm,
you ask for the help or I will ask for the help. And that requires permission. I had to get out of my own way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. You know what? Thank God for real friends and real family who have no problem saying the hard thing
at
because
the
they
right
love you.
time.
Yeah. But because they love you,
Oh yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know, that people like that can get angry enough and frustrated at you enough because they love you to speak up.
Correct. And look, it circles back to that permission thing, right? Because true leadership, whether I'm leading my personally, whether I'm leading my team, true leadership starts where your ego ends.
Ooh,
I can't,
that's a quote.
sorry, I can't, I can't lead and lie at the same time. I got to be 100% visible. I have to be 100% transparent to be able to lead my team. Hey, I can't
Mm-hmm.
do this. I can't do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that that bleeds through into what we do for others.
Mm-hmm. Did you did you ever hit a point where you just felt like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to continue to run this business. This is too much for me to handle. It's just not going to be able to happen. Did you ever hit that point?
Multiple times, regularly, about as regularly as there are meetings on my calendars. Yes.
So
I
how do
hit
you
that
pull yourself out of that thought process?
because recovery isn't about coming back. I think a lot of people think whether we're talking about any illness, a bankruptcy, a loss, a divorce, if you're an entrepreneur, you're sitting in that seat and something has happened. Something has knocked you off course and you are in a state of recovery. Recovery is not about returning to where you were because you can't get back to that place. Things have
Mm-hmm.
happened. The same way, like you lose your mom, you lose your dad, you can't return to the person that you were before you lost those people. You can't return to your business the way it was, the way you were before a traumatic event happened. Recovery is not about returning. It's about rebuilding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because
Absolutely.
if you don't have the idea, if you don't have the thought process that I'm not trying to replicate where I was, I'm rebuilding the new me.
Mm.
I'm rebuilding the new version of the company. I'm rebuilding the new version of my leadership. If you can't see that, then you're going to work in circles to try to get back to something. I can't revisit the Rasheed before my mom got died. That guy is gone. He'll never return. There's something
Yeah.
that has, infinitely happened to shift my universe. And
Mm-hmm.
the same is true with this disorder. The same is true with any kind of grief or loss or my divorce. It's true across the board. You will work in circles trying to get back to that person because it's impossible. And
Mm-hmm.
wherever your business was at that point, it was being ran by that person. So in you changing yourself, you're inevitably changing the business because you're giving the business a new leader, a different
Mm-hmm.
version of you. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to show up tomorrow for work as a different version of you. And
Absolutely.
if you try to separate the two, uh, I think that's a fatal mistake. I think people who are not open and honest with themselves enough to say, this is bleeding through my personal life into the way that I work. You got to be honest enough. Again, leadership opens the door to let ego out.
Yeah.
If you're not
No, that's
honest
so
enough with
true.
yourself to say that, then you'll double your recovery time. Whatever you're recovering from, you will add months and years or weeks, whatever, to that recovery because you're not being true to what you're recovering from or rebuilding into.
Absolutely. And listen, if you are a person like me who believes that there is nothing on here that happens on earth that does not filter through God's hands first,
Right.
right? I believe that nothing happens to me, good or bad,
That's right.
down here on earth that
That's
didn't
right.
filter through God's hands first, which means He allowed it to touch me for a reason. And the reason is most likely some sort of growth, some sort of
Yeah.
change, some sort of evolution. And so what you're saying makes a lot of sense because whatever thing that you went through at X period is preparing you for the new period, that new
100%.
chapter, that evolution. So no, I feel like you just put that so eloquently because a lot of people do try to go back to, okay, but I got to get back to my 20
Yeah.
clients. Well, this may have been preparing you for 50 clients or
Right. Right.
whatever. So what's the saying, Rasheed, about the windshield on the car is bigger than the back window
I've
because you're
never
supposed to be
heard that,
looking
but I like it.
forward,
I love that. I've never heard that
right?
before.
It's bigger on purpose because you're not supposed to be looking behind you. You're supposed to be looking
Right.
forward. And I feel like that's what you just really articulated in a really good way just now. And
Well,
so,
your question was, have I considered giving up on business, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
the answer was yes. But look, the Rashid survived because Rashid sought help and got himself out of the way and put his ego to the side. But the business survived because of the fact that our systems were stronger than my circumstances, right? Our foundation was stronger than what I was going through. And so it allowed me to be away for 3 hours. It allowed me to skip that day. It allowed me to have an emergency doctor's appointment because that foundation was already built. And you're right. It doesn't mean that everybody is going to be there. I'm talking to an audience of viewers that will have people at various stages in
yeah,
their entrepreneurship or small business situation. And we can only do what we can do where we are.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to take it back to my new friend Tanya, who we spoke with last time, who also she used that same trigger word, foundation. Like you have to build a foundation for anything that's going to be worth it, right? You
Sure.
build in a
Right.
house, it needs a foundation. You build in
Right.
a 5-star hotel from the ground up, it needs a foundation. Same thing
Sure.
with your business. And I wanted to talk
Soccer team.
or your soccer team, you need a foundation. That's right. That's right. Go Morocco. I want you to talk a little bit about what some of those foundations are. Tangible foundation building, and intangible. I know we're talking systems, processes, etc. I want you to talk just a little bit about that and how that ties into what we're calling the recovery.
Right. Sure. Look, my hands are in a lot of pots, and I am a master of none, but very experienced through all, right? What I am great at is employing people who are masters in their industry. I know how to find that AI master. I know how to find um, that perfect program builder or codex person. And you can't always put those people on the payroll, but the beautiful thing about the world we live in is contractors exist, right?
Yeah.
And so in building those systems, I have to apply what I sell to others within my own business. I can't sell you a company that will guarantee that you get 15 hours a week of your own time back if I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't miss 15 hours a week for my sickness, for my illness, then I'm talking shit.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
So if I can't do it for myself, so what does that look like? That looks like people first. When we have the ability to employ people, to contract people, we don't always have the ability to hire people as entrepreneurs. It's expensive. It's daunting. And as many people there are who are seeking work, who are recently unemployed, it doesn't change the fact that those who are in the pot, that the talent pool has increased. The talent pool is still daunting for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's hard to hire good people. It's hard to find good people. But other than people, what do I mean? Well, one of our slogans is productivity equals technology plus experienced people. You can't have one without the other. I can't build this technological pyramid unless there's somebody to be there if the blocks come out. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be something that people can gather around a foundation and help build and help support. Otherwise, you only have one arm of what I believe the productivity triangle looks like. It is experienced, qualified people plus the technology, plus the AI. That's what equals productivity. I can give you every system in the world. Download this, and this, and you will still be looking at your desktop like, what the hell did he give me? I don't know how to use these things. So those were a lot of things that were in place prior to this unfortunate, illness. That was a lot of it. And so having those things in place and having a person who could be my right arm to be the one who pushed the buttons. Because again, automation can only take you so far. Somebody's got to be behind all this automation, all this technology to say, oh, don't forget on Mondays we push this button.
Right. No, you're right. And that's something that I like to point out all the time is, number one, it's not perfect. Any technology. No technology is perfect. Why? Because it's built by man.
Right.
That's first and foremost. So yeah, and then it still requires, it might require a whole lot less than for you to have to go through the process manually, but it still requires some sort of interaction. So, I appreciate you for pointing that out. I feel like as entrepreneurs, small business owners, what have you, you feel the pressure to keep going, to keep pushing through. If you're sick, if you're just having a blue day, whatever, that you just got to keep pushing through, and you got to constantly juggle priorities in terms of your personal life and the business. I have made it a personal quest for myself that nothing, including the business, is more important than my personal life, my family, the people I love, my friends, the people I care about. Does that mean that there aren't times when it's like, ooh, do I take this call? She doesn't normally call me at this time, but I'm about to close this $5,000 a week deal. Like that still happens. But when you make that conscious choice of what's more important, it's easier to deal with. So I want you to speak to the entrepreneurs out there who, you know what I mean, are struggling with that.
The hard reality is the entrepreneur has to recover just as much as the patient. They're not always living in the same space, right? You might be occupying a physical space as the patient, but the way that you operate that being for your entrepreneurship role, again, if we're going 90 down the highway as the entrepreneur, but your body says we need to pull over into the help lane, right? You know that realistically, you can't keep going 90 miles an hour as the entrepreneur because the body is stuck over here. The body has said, pull over and take a minute, pull over and call 911. It's unrealistic to think that you can keep going as the entrepreneur role at 90 miles an hour. It's impossible. So while this person needs to heal, so does this. This guy's got to heal too. And in that healing, it requires us to take a step back. I can't speak enough about the beauty of asking for help. Yeah. I can't speak enough about the beauty in stepping aside from our ego. So many of us will ask when life throws challenges at us that we need to recover from. Again, all the list, the divorce, loss of a child, the bankruptcy, whatever the thing is that we're in a space of recovery from, we got to stop asking. And it's natural. We will ask this question until we stop. We got to stop asking, why me? And start asking, what's next?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's next for me? It
Mm-hmm.
happened, right? I got to rebuild from it. I got to recover from it. How? And then
Mm-hmm.
what do I do after that? That's what's important. Because you can go woe is me for a long time, but the bank don't care. The
Mm-hmm.
mortgage don't care
Mm-hmm.
about your wild needs.
That part.
So you better start asking what now.
You better
And
start figuring it out.
yeah, and sometimes that requires a creative pivot. The
Mm,
business might need to pivot.
yeah.
If you're working in an industry that requires you to be physically present and you're recovering from something that doesn't allow you to be as physically present as you once were, say you own a lawn care company and you're the number one lawn care guy, but you lost a leg. You might not be able to be the number one lawn care guy. If you can, kudos. Uh, but
Kudos.
maybe you can't, right? Does that mean you give up your business? Does that mean you walk away from this thing that you built? You don't have to. You can get
Yeah.
creative.
You can get creative. It's so true. But it requires some new muscles to be worked out, right?
Correct. That's
Some new
right.
muscles to be built. There's
Correct.
so many of for me, and I've talked about this often, the muscle that I have to continue to build and work on is that marketing myself muscle. I can market everybody else, no problem, but myself, I just feel what the kids say is cringe, right? It's cringe for me, right? But at the end of the day, that's how you get to the next step, the next level.
Mhm.
Which leads right into my next question, which is, as you are looking ahead, how do you feel like this experience shaped and changed your priorities as a person
Mhm.
and as a business owner? And your business by definition of success. Like, how did this whole experience change those two things?
I want to have a beat to answer this question because my gut moves fast. My ADHD moves fast. And I go, oh, I got the answer. I'll go home later and be like, damn, I should have said. But I think I've made it on my answer relatively quickly. Both of those people understand now. The the patient in me and the entrepreneur in me understand now. Going forward, as it relates to systems, as it relates to self-care, I've learned that peace is productive.
Mm, mhm,
Peace is part of my productivity.
mhm,
Systems are part of my self-care.
mhm.
That's
They
real.
intertwine.
That is real, man.
Mhm.
If I am overworking myself to the ground, I'm not implementing systems and I'm lacking in my self-care. If I'm not taking care and prioritizing my peace, I'm less productive. I'm not showing
Yes.
up fully for who I am. I'm not working today. Period. No. Period. That full sentence shit. No is a full sentence. No. I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
And we get so scared of it because we think, oh, I can't afford to, I can't afford to do that. Yeah, my company is so young, my entrepreneurship is so young, and I'm still fighting to get this money. You can't afford it at what cost?
Exactly.
Keep
It's
saying yes to
pay me
everything.
now or pay me later. That's what the body says.
Keep saying yes to everything. Keep burning yourself out.
Hmm.
We'll be having a conversation about recovery for you.
Hmm. Absolutely. And that is
So
the truth.
you can scale systems, but you can't scale exhaustion.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like you're
Correct.
exhausted, you're in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's where I am now when I think about
Mm. Mm-mm.
how I've managed to incorporate these things into my everyday life now. I've lightened up a lot. When you lose something as critical as your personality, I lost a lot of my personality in that illness
Mm.
because I was drugged up for such a long time. For 2 years, my creativity was sluggish. My sense of humor was missing.
Mm.
When it hurts to talk or it's impossible to talk and you're a funny guy and you're in a crowd of people and somebody says something funny and you got that perfect ba-da-ba and you can't get it out, that shit hurts, man. You like,
Mm.
I would have said.
Right. It physically hurts. It hurts your mindset. It hurts your spirit. Yeah. Yeah.
It sucks.
Hmm.
And being a Washingtonian, coming from a neighborhood where I used to live, which is across the street from Gallaudet University, I became so conscious and I became so empathetic for those who have lost their voices, for those who speak with support. Um, to not be able to speak when you have something to say, that shit hurts. And so when the medicine wears off, when the pain dissipates, when the recovery starts, and you start coming back to yourself and you go, oh, wait, I got a sense of humor. I'm a pretty wicked, funny guy, right? When the ability to interject and jump into conversations, when the creativity comes back. And I've asked Katie, who I spend most of my day with, this is the person I talk with on an everyday basis, Monday to Friday. And there have been multiple times in the past 2 years where I go, does that sound like the old me? Like, can you hear a difference? Can you see that, like, I'm coming? She's like, oh yeah, your sharpness is coming back. She's like, the way that you put that together at the speed in which you did that, she's like, I can see the old Rasheed. And prior to that, the same would be true. I would hang up with a meeting with multiple people and I would say, Katie, can you stay behind for a second? And I would ask her and I'll say, did I seem like myself? Did I seem smart? Did I seem kind of sluggish? And I mean to abate my sensitive ego. She would all check, no, everything seemed fine. I know me. I know me. So to be reintroduced to that person is a beautiful thing. But now the difference is I get to protect it. I get to protect it by doing what I need to do for the illness,
Yeah.
but I get to protect it by doing what I need to do for the person.
Yeah.
The answer is no. I'm not doing that today. I'm taking the day off. I'm watching the game tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. Let the systems chase it.
Mhm.
Put it
But
on.
isn't that? I'm sorry. You just made me.
No.
You saying that just really made me think about something. A lot of times, and I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but a lot of times when people get into business for themselves, when they're like, you know what, I'm gonna start my own business. I'm tired of working for the man. Whatever, the thing is, the thought process is my time will be my own time. I can make the rules for myself. I can, what I say will go. But then you find yourself in this trap, so to speak. I don't know what better word to use. Oh, but I gotta work till 3 a.m. to get this done, or I've got to do this. And so you have literally contradicted the reason why or what's one of the reasons, not the reason, but that you started working for yourself in the first place.
Yep.
What do you say to that person?
Trust yourself. Have a good compass. Remember why you started this thing, because you hit the nail on the head. People will say, I started this entrepreneurship because I'm tired of working for the man, because I wanted location independence. I wanted to be able to work from home. I want to spend more time with my kids. If you don't build with that kind of integrity, if you don't build the business with those things in the forefront of your mind, you just become an employee to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You just traded bosses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you become the man to yourself.
You become the man to you, right? And you don't even realize it. And then you're stuck in this cycle. So what I would say to those people is step back. Look at your quality of life before you chose entrepreneurship. And then look at the quality of life that you are building for yourself. Because we will chase money. We will chase leadership. We will chase the size of our company and our structure. We forget to chase the peace. Are you spending more time with the kids? Are you cooking dinner more? Are you going on longer vacations? Because if you're not doing that, you're just making a job for you. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you don't build with those things in mind in the beginning, when Katie told me she was pregnant, she asked me, can we sit down and structure a maternity leave plan? Because being in business for 9 years, I'd never had she's still a contractor as my CEO, but she's the closest thing to me physically and on a ladder. I'd never had anybody in such close proximity that was pregnant and was about to embark on time off to have a baby. I said, I'm not building no. Why would a grown man build a maternity leave program for you to have a baby? I said, build the damn thing the way you want it, send it to me so I could sign it. And I said, you know what you need. You live in Europe because we know America's maternity leave is bullshit. I live in Africa and I deal with 99.99% female clients because I know I didn't like the patriarchal game. I didn't want to sit at the table with the boys. I didn't like that energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here we are liberating ourselves geographically.
Literally.
Literally liberating ourselves. And you're going to ask me to build a maternity plan. Or I said, girl, if you don't take all the damn time you need to tell me when you come inside, I don't know. I said, and I told her, quote, I said, I want to be on the right side of history for this day. And if you're not building like that, if you're not moving and leading like that, then you're just making a job for yourself. Your company will reflect it.
But that says a lot about that very story says a lot about you as a person and as a leader, right? Because she had enough respect for you to come and say, hey, I've got this idea. Can we work it out? Can we build it out? Because she could have very well just walked up and slapped some paper on your desk and said, all right, so this is what we're doing. With, not even caring what you thought. Now, you probably would have been okay with that. But the point that I'm making is you have created a safe space for her and the people that work with and for you to be able to come and have that respectful interaction. Like, hey, I want to do this. What do you think? Or, you know what I mean? Because they're going to want the other way in any other circumstance.
For sure. 100%.
And we know some of those circumstances.
Me and you have talked about it most recently. Like, here's the thing about peace. When you're having a conversation around peace and other people, the one thing and the first thing that is needed is alignment and respect. If we are not aligned on our values, number one, I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
And I don't care how new you are in your business. If you don't start all the way back to our conversation at the beginning, if you don't start your foundation with integrity, if you don't start your foundation with clarity and discipline and alignment, all those words, they're not just catchwords. Those are the core things that you're building because you're building as a team of one. In the beginning is just you.
Yes. Yes.
And you got to have discernment enough to say that $1,000 ain't worth it. $1,000 ain't worth working with this motherfucker who has no respect for me, no respect for minorities. This $1,000 is not worth it because if I say yes to this one, then I'm stuck in a loop. And I'll say yes every time. And then how do you, in the theme of what we're talking about today, how do you then recover from that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, you've been hitting the nail on the head the whole time. I want you to speak right now directly to the person who's listening today. I want you to tell them if they take nothing else from this conversation, what's one thing that you want them to walk away with?
Because we're talking about recovery today and what that looks like individually, wherever you are. I think what I would want someone listening to walk away with is that the patient and the entrepreneur have to equally recover.
Mm.
It's not just you, the person who was ill, who was depressed, who was grief ridden, who became bankrupt. You have to do what you have to do on this earth, in this space, literally and figuratively, to get over those mountains. You, the person, you have to do those things. And when you can, because there's no time for recovery, there's no limits, there's no boxes that people can put you in. But when you have healed enough to then refocus your attention to the entrepreneurial side of you, you got to heal that person as much as you've healed the physical you. They deserve it as much as you.
Mm-hmm.
Or your company, or you might as well go back to 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is also uncertain.
And requires recovery for a lot of people who are stuck in one.
Absolutely.
And it is uncertain. It can be absolutely the bane of your existence at the same time.
Yes. Yes. No, that I think that's a perfect gem to leave on. As we close out,
I have one for you. I have a question for you. The hostess.
Questions. Left question.
Well, I said I had a hard stop. What they gonna do? Fire me? So I want to talk to. I want to talk to the hostess who has known physical pain, who has known long-term traumatic pain.
Mm-hmm.
I could be as bold as to say that I have known what. What's that when you have ongoing pain? What is it called?
Chronic pain.
Chronic pain. I could be so bold as to say that I've had chronic pain, but it hasn't been my lifetime. Mm-hmm. I've had a few years of chronic pain, but I'm talking to somebody who has lived with chronic pain for almost most of their life, if not all of their life. Mm-hmm. And now has chosen within most recent years to embark on this entrepreneurial role for yourself, for your family. And there are a lot of people looking up to you. Your guests look up to you. Your viewers are looking up to you. Your kids, even though you have all boys, are still looking up to you. There's still little girls out there. There's still young women. There's still young men who are listening to this. They're hearing my point of view. But let's not disregard yours. What has your ongoing, constant recovery done for you as an entrepreneur? What has it taught you?
That's a very great question, first and foremost, and thank you for asking it.
Of course.
For me, if you don't hunt, you don't eat. It's very primal, very basic.
I'll take that.
But it's true, right? Like you said, I can remember 4-ish, 5-ish years old telling my mom, my back is hurting, mama. And did you fall? Did you bump into something? I can remember that far back. And years and years and years and years of nobody knowing or understanding what this pain was until finally a smart doctor was like, I think I know what it is. Let's try some things, and finding out that it's the spinal stenosis. For those who don't know, it's the narrowing of a spine, which means that all of my discs, if you ever had a herniated disc, imagine all of them being herniated at the same time. But technically they're not, but because of the way the spine is narrow, it makes it feel like they are. And so, to be very transparent with you, I'm in excruciating pain right now. There are some days that are worse than other days. I like to, when I sit down for a serious conversation with someone, I like to preface with, listen, I suffer from spinal stenosis. So when you see me shifting in my seat, it's because if I sit in the same position for too long, I will not be able to move. Right. So people don't understand that unless you tell them. They look at you and they think, oh, she must have ADHD, or oh, she must have got a tick, or she must have got No, I will very literally not be able to move if I don't move.
Yeah.
Um, so I give that backstory, so to speak, to say, for me, I made it a very young decision that my ailment does not define who I am and how I will live my life. So I was
Right.
out there on the roller rink with my friends in high school. I was getting on the sleds and sledding down the hill, and I
Yeah.
experienced things. And so with my business, I feel the same way. I'm going to experience it. Once I make a decision about something, that's it. I'm going
Yeah.
to experience entrepreneurship to its fullest extent, regardless of my ailment. It does not define me.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Because you must be in constant recovery and restarting over and over in terms of recovery.
Yeah.
Um, you're a testament to what that kind of leadership does, because your business doesn't falter. You haven't closed down. You found a way to balance your personal, patient wise recovery with what your dream is and your goal. So, as much as you are here and interviewing me and highlighting me, the tables could easily be turned, my friend. Easily. And I just wanted your audience to know that. I wanted other people to know that, because that's something I know about you.
No, thank you for that. And you're absolutely right. You have to make a choice every day.
Yep.
There's a lot of people going through a lot of different things that
For
have to
sure.
make a choice every single day.
Yeah.
And for me, I make the choice. I could have been like, we got to pause this because I'm done.
Yep.
Because the rain and the humidity, that's one of the things that, because it's also made me arthritic in my back. So I could have very easily been like, hey, friend, can we do it tomorrow or whatever?
Right.
But no, because guess what? Life doesn't stop because Amanda is dealing with something. It doesn't stop for everybody else. And I have to keep that in mind. Are there days when I do absolutely have to stop? Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't let this define me. I just won't. So here we are.
And this was better than I could have imagined. I mean, all of the circles and the twists and turns. I didn't want it to be about my illness only. I didn't want it to be about my recovery of that illness only. I wanted it to be more relatable, because
Absolutely.
there are more things that we all suffer from than there are less. And any entrepreneur and any small business owner at whatever stage they're in, if they have to recover from something, they're not the first. They're not going
Yes.
through this for the first time. And there are people who have had to do it, who have had to balance what that looks like, and had to come back. And I'm happy that we were able to provide a conversation where people could.
Oh, God bless you.
Thank you. Where they could hear the success. And it's an ongoing success. It's not a one and done. Whew,
Yes.
done.
Yes. And it's a choice of success. It's a
Right.
choice. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. You chose. You could have shut down at your hands and be like, screw this. Right. But you didn't. You chose not to. And that's something right there that I think a lot of people hearing this will be able to say, you know what? I can make a choice too.
Mhm.
This doesn't have to define me. This doesn't have to stop the show. It just might change the direction of which the show goes. And that's
Right.
okay. And that's
Yep.
okay. And your friend, I love you. You're just
I love you too. Thank you so much. This is always great. I never know what to expect.
That's why it's Life Uncensored.
You're right. I guess you're right. Wow, what a beautiful title. Whoever helped you build this thing is so great. Now, creatively, this was all work. We just plugged some pieces into the wall. But
Thank God. Thank God
Thanks
for
for having
Rasheed and extra hands. I mean that. Yes, indeed. Tell the folks where they can get in touch with extra hands if they need the help, if they need the assistance. Tell a little bit about that.
Thank you. Saturday, you won't find me because I'll be celebrating the next Morocco win against Canada. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
Talker.
Also, this is commonly known as July 4th weekend. I call it Juneteenth round two.
Round two?
You can basically get in touch with us on our website. It's Extra Hands Virtual Assistance VAs as virtual assistants, and it has an s.com. You can follow us on the same handle, Extra Hands VAS, on Instagram or Facebook. But we're easy to find. LinkedIn, our website. You just Google Rasheed Hamid and you'll find it. I'm always out and about or running my mouth somewhere, so I'm not missed by many. So thank you.
I love it. I love it. Leave our audience with your favorite quote or your greatest joy right now.
My favorite quote these days as I approach the young age of 48 in a couple of months. My favorite quote these days is, the older I get, the heller I know. Because I'm a hell no kind of person. Now, at this big old age, I drink some water. I'm out of my business. I protect the skin. It's 108 degrees today in Marrakesh. Okay. I'm turning 48 years old soon. And, you know, in my opinion, I still look 30 something. But that's because of the piece that I have chosen. Right? That's because of the piece that I've chosen. So no is a complete sentence. And you need to apply that to your personal life as much as you do to your professional life to protect yourself. That's the lane I'm living in.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. The older I get, the heller I know.
Real hard.
Put on the t-shirt. Mr. Rasheed Hamid, I have just enjoyed this conversation. You have been wonderful as per usual. I thank you for all that you have contributed to just everyone, you know, whose lives that you touch, you know, business and personal. And a special shout out to you for helping me build Life Uncensored. It was with the help of Extra Hands run by Rasheed Hamid that Life Uncensored is coming before you.
It was inside you all along. We just helped pull it out.
That's what I needed. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rasheed Hamid, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hope to see you soon, friend. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. I am going to end our show today with my quote of the day. First, some housekeeping notes. Make sure you like, follow, share. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that bell. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your countrymen. All right. Tune into Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood one episode at a time. Okay. I am so very thankful for the conversation today with Rasheed. And I want to leave you with a quote that he mentioned to me during a conversation earlier this week. And the quote goes, "You have to pray to catch the bus, but then run as fast as you can. You can't pray to catch the bus and stroll down the street." That quote is from Miss Carrie Washington. I love this because it reminds us that faith without action will not move us forward. And when you are an entrepreneur, life doesn't stop because you're hurting. It just doesn't. The bus keeps moving. The question is, how do you keep running while you're still healing? And that's exactly what we talked about today. And that's exactly what Rasheed demonstrated. So thank you all. Make sure that you do something kind for someone. You never know, it might change the world. Stay hydrated and tune in for our next episode of Life Uncensored. Bye for now. Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood one episode at a time. We're available on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
You can also check us out on our website, life-uncensored.com. Come on over and see what you've been missing.